shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Definitely colder this morning. We have a frost advisory in effect for most of the area. I'll show you how chilly it will feel when you step out the door.
Flight cancellations today. Airports nationwide are taking fewer flights. How this is causing headaches for travelers here in the Triangle. Plus, teacher call-outs. Today, Wake County teachers are calling out across the district. There are protests of budget issues and healthcare costs. All right, we have made it to Friday. Let's lock in and go. Thanks for joining us here on WRAL News. I am Chris Levingood. You're waking up this morning. It's a little colder than it was yesterday. Plus, Elizabeth Gardner's tracking a frost advisory out there.
We do. Almost all of the viewing area, just a few of our southern counties not included. We're looking at widespread temperatures in the 30s this morning. Clear skies and calm winds, of course, allow our temperatures to drop pretty rapidly. Wind out of the southeast at 3 miles per hour right now. Temperature in the Triangle is sitting at 46, but temperatures typically drop a bit more once we get closer to sunrise. So between now and 6:30, temperatures could drop a little bit farther. So 39 in Rocky Mount and Wilson, 39 South Hill, 36 in Roxborough, and then elsewhere we're sitting in the mid 40s right now. 24-hour temperature change, especially in those northern and eastern counties, as much as 15 to 20 degrees colder than this time yesterday. So that is a big change. It is going to be a really nice afternoon. We'll see partly cloudy skies with a high near 70 degrees. But bigger changes coming for the weekend. Several chances for rain and some very cold air by early next week.
I will see your full forecast in just a bit there, Elizabeth. Today, flights are being canceled at airports all across the nation. That includes destinations for local travelers leaving, out of RDU where you're looking live. And WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at the airport this morning. Kelsey, FAA flight reductions are already showing up on the boards there this morning.
Yes, Chris, we're already seeing those effects right now. So far this morning, 2 delays and 8 cancellations here at RDU, according to FlightAware. You can see that folks are here checking their bags at Delta, and we'll check in with some of these folks to see if they've been impacted by the FAA's decision. But taking off from RDU was actually smooth yesterday with short lines and few delays. The FAA is reducing flights by 10% at 40 airports nationwide. RDU is not one of those airports, but we are expecting to see ripple effects here today. RDU has 33 direct flights to airports that are on the FAA's list. WRAL spoke with RDU's Chief Development Officer, Bill Sandifer, about how the FAA's decision could impact their services.
Well, that's really between FAA and the airlines because they control the air traffic. I mean, we're just watching what's going on, just like all of you.
Does that feel pretty helpless?
I don't know if it feels helpless or not. It's just, there's nothing we can do about it.
So we'll be sure to stay on top of all of these cancellations and delays here at RDU every 30 minutes to keep you updated on your weekend travel. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live at RDU.
And let's say you're flying somewhere for the holidays. You should know what to do and what rights you have if your flight gets delayed or even canceled. So if you can and need to cancel your trip, consider doing it. That'll save you a big headache. And if you absolutely must fly for a certain reason, maybe you have a wedding or another significant event, the CEO of Frontier Airlines recommends you buy a backup flight through a different airline that leaves after your first flight. That way you'll have an immediate backup. You can also consider driving or even taking the train. WRAL's 5 on Your Side spent the day yesterday pressing every airline that flies from RDU for clear answers on the refund policies, specifically when cancellations or delays happen because of these cuts. You can find the responses at WRAL.com/5 on Your Side. This morning, teachers in Wake County are planning a call out. WRAL's Ali Kabdabar is at East Wake High School in Wendell. Ali, the teachers are concerned about budget issues and healthcare costs.
And Chris, East Wake High School here behind me was one of the schools that sent out an email to parents last night. Take a look here. These are emails from 2 different Wake County schools. The schools sent these emails to parents last night. They warn about increased staff absences today and Monday. It says, quote, "This is due to some staff at participating in a walkout on these dates to take a stand on broader issues affecting public education." This is all stemming from an anonymous graphic. It's been circulating social media. It urges teachers across North Carolina to call out today and Monday. This is an effort to protest budget issues and increased healthcare costs We spoke with a Wake County teacher, Jenny Lee Lloyd. She says she supports this in general, but it's not time to act.
My recommendation is to wait, to use that momentum, continue to have these conversations that are happening in schools, because the conversations are happening.
Now, we do know of some call-outs for today. The Wake County school system told WRAL News that they haven't seen an unusual uptick. Of course, we're going to be following this throughout the Triangle today. Reporting live in Wake County, Allie Cadlabar, WRAL News.
Early this morning, Raleigh police arrested a person they say crashed a box truck into a house and then ran off. What you're looking at is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker on Raleigh Pines Drive, just off Garner Road. A neighbor told WRAL their cars and their home were also damaged. Police say they found the driver just before 2:30 this morning, and we're working to learn more about the crash and the charges the driver may be facing. According to a new ruling from a federal judge, SNAP benefits for this month must be paid in full. Last week, North Carolina Attorney General Jeff Jackson joined other attorneys general to get emergency funding released for the program. Well, today is the deadline for the Trump administration to make those payments, but it's unclear how long it'll take for the money to get to the millions of people who need it. However, a few people have already written into WRAL saying they're starting to receive their partial benefits. Durham County Social Services says the money should hit accounts by today. Black boxes from the deadly UPS cargo plane crash at Louisville's airport, they're offering investigators clues into what went wrong. The NTSB released these photos you're seeing here on your screen of the boxes. Investigators were able to pull about 63 hours of data, and that includes data from the flight that crashed. They're also looking at the 34-year-old plane's 6-week maintenance work in San Antonio. An FAA report shows the inspection found corrosion below the fuel tank and a crack that was repaired.
We will do everything we need to find out what happened and to figure out how to keep it from happening again.
Last night, Kentucky investigators announced another death connected to the crash. During a vigil, the mayor updated the public on the 13th person who died. There are people still unaccounted for as the recovery mission is happening. A man who lived and worked near the crash explained what it was like when that crash happened.
And all I could see was a huge fireball, like an atomic bomb had dropped or something, and black smoke pluming everywhere. And so I didn't know what to do, didn't know what was going on. I run back into the building for a second, and I thought it was the end of the world kind of thing, that's what it seemed like.
The NTSB will release its preliminary report within about 30 days. This morning, we're hearing new reaction from the teammates of Marshawn Kneeland. He was the defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys. He was found dead from an apparent suicide at his home yesterday in Texas, and he was 24 years old. During last night's NFL game, the Raiders, the Broncos, and all the fans had a moment of silence to honor him. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott was asked about Kneeland's death at an event last night in Louisiana.
I heard from Marshawn, I heard for his family, I heard for his girlfriend, I heard for every single one of my teammates. This is a pain that you don't wish upon anybody. You wish none of us had to go through this. You wish Marshawn didn't have to go through what he went through.
Kneeland's death came after a police chase late Wednesday night. Texas State Police say that while they were chasing him, he managed to get away, but eventually he crashed and ran off. He was in his second season with the Cowboys and just scored his first career touchdown Monday night. Happening today, the city of Raleigh will mark a big milestone for the new city hall. Teams will hold a topping off ceremony. It's a symbolic event where they put the final beam on the structure at its highest point. What you're seeing here is a video showing a time lapse of work earlier this year. And city leaders say the building will make running Raleigh a bit easier with everything under one roof. Raleigh neighbors won't need to go to different buildings for things such as permits and paying bills or even council meetings. And work is expected to last into next year. Today, UNC will unveil its new business school building. Stephen Bell Hall will open to students starting next semester. It will double the space for the business school. School's demand for the program outpaced the available space, and UNC hopes the new building will allow the business department to grow significantly. Veterans Day is next Tuesday, and there are events being held throughout the weekend to honor the people who served in the U.S. military. This morning, there is a Veterans Breakfast that is from 8 to 9:30 at Cedar Fork Community Center in Morrisville. You do need to register ahead of the time. Now, tonight, there is a job fair and food drive in Fayetteville, and that runs from 2 to 7 on Baywood Road. Then tomorrow, there's a celebration in Raleigh at the John Chavis Community Center from 11 to 2. On Sunday, there's a tribute that will be held at Knightdale Veterans Memorial at 2 p.m. A low-scoring game in last night's game during Thursday Night Football. The Las Vegas Raiders started the scoring off there with Ashton Genty pushing his way into the end zone there, but the Denver Broncos, well, they were tied the game before halftime, but couldn't get their offense going again and settled for a field goal to take the lead. The Raiders tried to tie the game to force overtime, but missed, giving the Broncos a 10-7 win. We are headed into a big weekend of NFL football action. First, the Panthers will host the Saints on Sunday, and you can watch that game on Fox 50. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. And then after that on Fox 50, the Lions take on the Commanders. That game starts at 4:25. Keep in mind, you can flip it over to WRAL for Sunday Night Football. The Pittsburgh Steelers will play the LA Chargers, and that game gets started at 8:15. Go black and gold. Presidential price cut. The Trump administration is making weight loss drugs more affordable and accessible. The new price without insurance coverage. And school safety dispute. Wake County's superintendent had to clarify a statement about school shootings. Why parents say an apology would go a long way. Plus, warm, wet days ahead. We're giving you a live look over at Fenton and Cary. After the break, meteorologist Elizabeth Garden will break down your weekend forecast.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:44 and you're stepping out the door to some colder temperatures this morning. We do have a frost advisory in effect for most of the viewing area. Already seeing temperatures in the 30s in our northern and some of our eastern counties, but right around the triangle, temperature at 46. This is not necessarily going to be widespread frost, but definitely some patchy frost in certain areas. If you've already seen frost this fall, you may see it tonight or this morning, but then otherwise almost everybody will see it by early next week as we see a much colder weather pattern moving on in. Heading out the door this morning, it's definitely colder than it was yesterday, so you may need a heavier jacket or coat than you did yesterday. In the triangle, it's 45, but we are seeing 30s up near the Virginia line. We could dip into the upper 30s in the triangle before we get to 7 or 8 o'clock. A nice mild afternoon as the kids are getting off the bus. Temperatures will be close to 70. Coming up, we're going to go over a fairly complicated weekend pattern. It's not going to be a washout, but we'll see several chances for rain.
All right, sounds good, Elizabeth. Thank you. The cost of popular weight loss drugs could be coming down by hundreds of dollars. Yesterday, President Donald Trump announced deals with Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly. They're the companies that make weight loss drugs Wegovy and Zepbound. The president says the agreements will lower drug costs when your insurance doesn't cover it. Instead of paying more than $1,000 a month, you'd be looking at low as $250 a month. A UNC doctor we spoke with says she believes this is a step in the right direction.
I was elated to hear this announcement because this past year, 2025, it's been a disappointing year because more employer-based insurances dropped GLP-1 coverage.
The White House says the treatments will be offered on TrumpRx.gov. That website is not yet up and running, and it's unclear how that process will work. A building at Joint Base Andrews was evacuated because of a suspicious package. That package contained a white powder, and people were taken to an on-base medical center after it was opened. But a field test did not detect anything hazardous. If you didn't know, Joint Base Andrews is where the president and other top leaders leave from when they're traveling during an official business. The Congressional Budget Office was hacked. That's according to an email this week from the Senate Sergeant at Arms. A U.S. official briefed on that hack says China is believed to be behind it. The email also says the hacking was still ongoing. Staff members were told to avoid clicking on links because their accounts may still be compromised. A lengthy meeting with the Wake County superintendent left some parents upset about the school system's approach to safety. During an open forum at Durant Road Elementary, parents brought up concerns to Superintendent Robert Taylor about school shootings. Parents say Taylor said he believes some mass shootings will happen and schools have to minimize them. Well, that angered parents like Heidi Belisle.
I mean, I do think that the comment probably was said in the heat of the moment, but I do think that, an apology or clarification definitely goes a long way.
In a statement, Taylor explained his intent. He said, quote, "My comments were part of a conversation and were in response to a question regarding school safety and mobile units. When considering school safety, I shared that people intent on causing harm will find a way to do so, but our task is always to prevent any incident," end quote. Belisle and other parents told WRAL News that they think Taylor means well, but they don't think the school system is doing enough to improve school safety. Right now, the state DOT is trying to restore Highway 12. We have spent a lot of time in recent weeks outlining issues on the Outer Banks' only highway. I want to show you some photos now, kind of showing some of the heavy machinery down on the coast. Overwashed and flooding left giant holes in sand dunes along the highway, and those expose it even more to the ocean. DOT is working to get it in the best shape possible before the next issues arise. The one issue that we're looking at this morning, weather-wise, a frost advisory that is in a place right now. We have Elizabeth Gardner tracking that. So how long is this going to be in place, Elizabeth?
So it's in effect until 8 a.m. And at that point, temperatures should be warm enough that we won't see any more frost forming. But we're not likely to see it everywhere. Of course, it doesn't include our southern counties. But right now, temperatures from the Triangle area northward are in the mid-40s. But our northern counties and some of our eastern counties are seeing 30s this morning. So that's where we're more likely to see that patchy frost. We've seen 5 frost advisories this fall, and the average is 3. They'll be issued until the growing season ends. And so we'll probably have frost advisories up until the beginning of next week. Once we get a hard freeze, that signals the end of the growing season, and there won't be any more frost advisories because, you know, we could have weeks during the winter where you would have one every night. So they only issue them in the fall when we're just starting to see those first freezing temperatures. 36 Roxborough, 38 South Hill, 39 in Rocky Mount. Elsewhere, Durham, Raleigh, Chapel Hill down to Fayetteville. Temperatures are in the mid-40s. It's 41 in Chapel Hill and 41 in Durham, but 45 in Knightdale, 46 degrees in Apex. We do have some chilly mornings next week. The temperatures for Saturday and Sunday morning will be even warmer, back into the mid-50s. Our normal low is 42. So Monday morning, 41, and Tuesday morning is the one that we're looking at as our first hard freeze. We could be down into the upper 20s to low 30s across the viewing area. Around town this afternoon, it's going to feel great. We'll see partly cloudy skies, 70 in Raleigh, 69 Durham, 75 in Fayetteville. So a good looking day, and we'll have more warm temperatures over the weekend with opportunities to get outside. Next week, we're going to kick things off much colder. I mean, a totally different feel, almost feeling like winter for us. But enjoy Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 70 for today, 76 for Saturday and Sunday. But we do have some chances for rain. We'll have a chance overnight tonight as well as Saturday night, and then in the afternoon on Sunday. We're going to walk through that in more detail coming up. And again, don't forget, we'll have widespread 20s and 30s for Tuesday morning. We check out the 7-day forecast. Again, looking at that best chance for rain really on Sunday with our front coming through. We'll take a closer look at how much rain we could see coming up.
All right, thank you, Elizabeth. Holiday wine prices. Wholesalers say tariffs will lead to increased costs as the year comes to an end. How tariffs are also affecting domestic winemakers. Plus, it's getting stranger. Netflix announced a spin-off animated series. We're giving you a first look at Stranger Things, Tales from 1985. Five on Your Side has a recall alert to tell you about. More than 800,000 Peloton bikes have potentially faulty seats. It's the original Bike Plus models. At least 2 people have been hurt because the seat post broke and detached during use. Anyone with bikes should stop using them and contact Peloton for a free repair. For a blast from the past and Hollywood Minute, David Daniel takes to some stranger things that were happening in 1985.
This is your story. Honor your past.
So you wanna be starting something
and embrace the future. That's what people want.
The first teaser trailer is out for the Michael Jackson biopic, Michael. Jafar Jackson, Michael's nephew, makes his feature debut as the King of Pop. The highly anticipated movie is due in theaters April 24th.
Billy, what are these things?
Gremlins. More 80s nostalgia. Warner Brothers is bringing back Gremlins. The studio has announced it's releasing an as-yet untitled Gremlins movie on November 19th, 2027. Chris Columbus, who wrote the original 1984 film, takes the director's chair and will also help write the script. No word yet on the cast or plot.
So our story takes place between seasons 2 and 3. But we soon learn that nothing is quite as they thought it was.
And Netflix has released the first look at Stranger Things, Tales from 85. The animated series based on the streamer's smash hit live-action show, which wraps up this winter, is due out sometime next year. Heading from Hollywood to Hawkins, I'm David Daniel.
The Trump administration's tariffs are bringing some challenges to the U.S. wine industry. Wholesalers say that wine sellers have been eating the cost of tariffs on European wines. Now, these companies have thin margins and will no longer be able to sustain that practice soon. They project price increases near Christmas and into the new year. Domestic producers are also having trouble with the tariffs.
The glass bottles, the cork, and then we've seen also like the consolidation, and so that affects maybe the labeling of the wine, as well as selling the wine. We've seen kind of the retaliatory tariffs.
Lucia Hosfeld from Hosfeld Vineyards says that the tariffs come as alcohol sales go down. And as of this past summer, there is a 15% tariff on European wines. Your time is 4:56 this morning. FAA flight cuts. Airports across the country are seeing a reduction in planes heading in and out, and how this could affect travel plans for people right here in the Triangle. A call-out protest. Schools in Wake County are preparing for higher than normal teacher absences today. The messages from educators on school budgets and healthcare costs. Robbing retirees. A Knightdale woman is in jail accused of stealing jewelry at an assisted living facility. But WRAL is asking managers of that home,